Hello everyone. Today's discussion is about binomial expansion, part A, expand a minus b raised to 5, and then part B, use the first three terms of the expansion in A above to find the value of 1.97 raised to 5 to 2 decimal places. So for the first part, we are going to expand. So the first step is to identify the binomial coefficients when the power of the binomial is 5. So the coefficients are 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1. So we'll use these coefficients in the following manner. We have a minus b raised to 5. So this becomes, for the first coefficient, we have 1. Then we have to multiply that by a, then negative b. So we're going to add their powers later. So let's just list these. So we have plus 5 times a times negative b plus the next coefficient is 10 into a into negative b, then again 10 into a into negative b, then we have 5, so let me add it here, plus 5 into a into negative b, and finally 1 plus 1 into a into negative b. Now for the first term, we're going to have the powers decreasing from 5. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And then for the second term, the power will be increasing from 0 up to 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the next thing, you can see the second term is a negative. Every time we raise a negative number to an even power, then the result is always positive. And if we raise a negative number to an odd power, the result is negative. So we'll consider that when simplifying this expression on the right hand side. So for the first part here, we have 1 times a power 5, that is a power 5, but negative b raised to 0 is just 1. So for this part, we'll have a power 5, that is 1 times a power 5 times 1. And then for the second part, we notice that the power of negative b here is 1, and 1 is odd. So that means the result we'll have here is negative. That is, positive times negative is negative. And then the rest will become 5a power 4 times b power 1, which is just b. For the next part, negative b is raised to an even power, which is 2. So the result here is positive. So we have positive times positive is positive. So we'll be left with 10 times a cubed times b squared. And then for the next one, we have negative, because as you can see, negative b is raised to an odd power. So we have negative here. Then 10 a squared b cubed. Remember, we are not bothered about the sign for a because a is positive throughout, and therefore, irrespective of the power it is raised to, the result is always positive. Okay, let's move to the next term, which is this. So here we'll have plus, because negative b is raised to an even power, so we'll add. And then here we have 5, a, and then b is raised to power 4. And then lastly, we have the last term, negative b is raised to 5. 5 is odd, so that makes the result here negative. A raised to 0 is 1, so a number raised to 0 is 1, so 1 by 1 times b raised to 5, that is b power 5. Finally, we have this expression here, which is an expansion of a minus b raised to 5. So that is for part A. For part B, we are going to use the first 3 terms of the expansion in A above to find the value of 1.975 to 2 decimal places. So let us first of all list the first 3 terms. So we have a minus b raised to 5 is equal to, so the first 3 terms are these ones, a power 5 minus 5a power 4b plus 10a cubed b squared. So that becomes, but remember we are required to use this to determine the value of 1.97 raised to 5. So we'll have to express 1.97 raised to 5 in this form, in the form a minus b. So this we can achieve by getting a difference, and the difference here will be 2 minus 0.03. This should be equivalent to 1.97, and then we raise to power 5. So from here we can see that a is represented by 2 and b is represented by 0.03. Now this we determine by looking at the nearest whole number to 1.97. So the nearest whole number that would give us the desired result is 2. So that if you take 2 minus 0.03, you get 1.97. From here, we've identified that A is 2, B is 0.03, and therefore the next task is to substitute them in our expansion as required. So we'll have 1.97 raised to 5 equal to, so in place of a we'll have 2 raised to 5 minus 5 into 2 raised to power 4 times b, and b is 0.03. Then we'll have plus 10 into a is 2 raised to power 3 times b, which is 0.03 raised to power 2. When these are worked out, so 2 power 5 becomes 32 minus, so this second part becomes 2.4, and then plus the last part becomes 0.072. So working out this, we will get 29.672. But remember, in the equation we are required to give our answer to 2 decimal places, so that should be approximately 29.67. And thus we have used the expansion in part A to determine the value of 1.97 raised to 5. Now with this we come to the end of this question. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.